So guys, a good morning altogether, eh? 24 snares brought out of the bush, a variety of different types. We've got guinea fowl snares. Look at that. So if you look at these little feathers, they've got more of a blue tinge on that white dot. So I would hazard a guess that that is going to be crested, yes. Crested guinea fowls, which is, in Zimbabwe is a protected bird.
So you can see how they've been scratching here. You see how the guinea fowl have actually scratched, digging for food. So that's probably why they selected this little place.
This looks like it's come off maize meal bags. You know, they bind the maize meal bags up with a synthetic twine, and I think that's exactly where that's come from. What we found in this area is that you'll put your big snares out, a buffalo goes down, you watch for the vultures and the people come in and they check. But where you've got birds, little snares like this to me is something a little bit different. And in fact, on this stretch of riverine, this is my first time in 10 years to find these bird snares. It's unbelievable. So it's a completely different tactic that's going on now.
Could be an indication of the desperation, the hunger or
100%.
something like that.
You know, especially after COVID, 2 years of COVID, with a lot of people who were in lodges are now no longer in lodges. They're hungry. They still haven't got back to full production in terms of staffing at these camps, and so these guys might just be here in the field trying to find some, you know, ends meat and have a chicken. Basically, it's bush chicken. It's delicious. Very, very difficult.
But I just look around here. I mean, this bush is as thick as you can make it, and we've got a rifle at broad daylight. We can see a little bit of what's happening, but there's lots of elephant sign. There's lots of buffalo sign. Could you imagine coming through here at night or a moonlit night just to check for snares like that? It must be absolutely frightening.
It must be terrifying. And I can tell you this right now, is that these guys who are doing these kinds of things, they don't want to be doing this. This is through sheer desperation. They don't want to be out here. It's dangerous. They would much prefer to have a job, you know, Monday to Friday, and then go home to see the wives and children on the weekend. Being out here is not what they want to do. It's desperation, for sure. There's obviously an animal that's died here. Just looking at that fur, you know, the white, and I think that's going to be bushbuck that's been caught. But interestingly enough, the skin was left here, but there's no snare left, no bones. So I'm going to hazard a guess that what's happened is the guys that come here, they've actually skinned the animal out. They've left the skin here. I'm sure that what's happened is, if we look very, very carefully, you'll probably find remnants of a fire, and they've actually come and they've eaten here. That just shows how much time that these guys have actually had without being disrupted. So I'm sure that that's what we're going to find shortly. We'll find a place where they used to have it, where there was a fire and they cooked their food up, and they've had a nice good old feast, and then they've gone on to lay more snares. Snare, bones, everything's gone. So that snare has been reset somewhere close here, and that's what we need to find. We need to find that one snare. Just shows you how deadly these things really are. Look how well camouflaged this snare is. I mean, you're walking past, this is a silver terminalia. The snare itself is a little bit rusted, and it's fitting, and it's rusted color of the bark. And here it is. There's the snare. Look how well camouflaged that is. As a human being, that we're out here looking for these things, we can hardly see it, and animals got no chance at all. So good spot, good find. Yeah, great morning. So literally 5 of us walking through, and we picked up 5 each. If you look at it that way, we've probably covered 4 kilometers, maybe in and out and out. Started off this morning at around 8, and now it's just after 12. So you know, we've had a good 4 or 5 hours in the bush, and again, it just goes back to show that we need more boots on the ground. Guy, I don't know if you agree with that.
I think it's been a hugely successful morning, and compared to yesterday, it looks like we didn't hit as many hot spots, but when we did, we recovered several snares in those hot spots. So we had little patches of quiet areas, and then suddenly where the bush thickened up, there they were again. Some of these we've just cut out now, very old snares, and they were triggered long ago and just left. So they've been trodden on, and they haven't been in action for a while, but all the same, it's wire taken out of circulation. Not only have you picked up snares and taken them out of circulation, but you've learned trees, you've learned different tracks. So you could keep on going like this. You could build your knowledge about the bush and make you into better guides.
So I mean, I would like to thank you guys for being out today, and I know we've got a longer program, but you know, GAP, the program behind GAP, Guides Against Poaching, is just that. It's guides. It's people who are passionate about the wildlife, the wilderness areas, getting out there and going and protecting it. But there's no better classroom than being out here the whole time.
Yes.
And so what GAP sets out to do is every situation, every initiative that GAP's got, we've always got professionals there. And those professionals will take their time to sit with learners and to ensure that they part their knowledge onto those learners, so that we've got generations of future, coming through, and good guides, eager, passionate guides. That's what we're really looking for. And there's no better way to test an individual. And here we've got 3 individuals, 3 learner guides coming through, and these guys have volunteered their time to be here. And straight away you can see the passion that comes through. There's no greater passion than volunteering your time to come and do something as worthy as this. So, it's fantastic to see young people coming through, young budding people, and we really hope that we see a lot more of people coming through, giving their time and being passionate. So well done to the 3 of you guys for being here in the first place.